Greetings, this is Alex from Stygian Sound, and today I'm going to show you how to properly consolidate your tracks to be sent off to your mix engineer, your producer, whoever is going to be working on your music. It's very important to get this right. There are a lot of videos already online showing different ways to do this, but I figured since lately I've been having some issues with new clients having trouble trying to send me their files. Doesn't matter what DAW you're in. It's a very similar process for each DAW, whether you're in Pro Tools, which is what I'm using, Reaper, Logic, Cubase. It's all pretty much the same process. What you want to do is consolidate all of your multi-tracks to zero, to the beginning of your session. For example, the beginning of my session is 11000 bar beat 1. So that's the very beginning. So what you want to do is select all of your tracks and go to the very end of your session. So I have a marker set up already here. So have all of your tracks selected, and then depending on what DAW you're in, you want to consolidate. But only the tracks you want your mix engineer to work with. Don't send them a bunch of random takes, a bunch of random extra guitar parts or whatever. Only the tracks you want to be included in the actual song. It's very important to make sure that you go through and clean up and make sure everything is exactly where it needs to be. Also, if you have any MIDI files that need to be printed to audio, say you did Stephen Slate drums, or you have a bunch of synths that are still MIDI, make sure you convert all of those to audio first. So what you want to do now is, in Pro Tools, there's a key command, but you want to go ahead and consolidate all of your audio files. So here it's going to be rendering for a bit, and you'll see what happens is you get a nice clean region clip from the very beginning to the very end of your last audio file. So here, the red are the drums, blue's bass, green's guitar, orange we have a little pad, we have a little sound effect that's yellow, and the vocals are purple. So now you can see everything is nice and neat in all of these regions from the very beginning to the very end. And this track is also, it's very important too to include maybe embedded in the actual folder name, the tempo of the song. This is at 125. You don't want to send off, your consolidated files to your mix engineer and not give him the tempo. So then he has to figure that out on his own, which isn't that big of a deal, but it's always nice to include that. So here we're at 125. Next step is you have to make sure that the actual audio file is labeled correctly, not your track in your DAW. It's important to have that labeled as well, but you have to make sure that it's also embedded in the actual file. So here is our kick in. So I'm gonna go through all these and show you. I also like to put, it's important to put the number before the track name, so that when the mix engineer goes and imports all the files, they line up in the order that you want them, or the order that you had it in your session. Yeah, maybe your mix engineer will rearrange it how he wants, but I always like to number it in order as I have it in my session. So here I'm going to go through all these for you. It's different depending, I know in Reaper it's similar. In Pro Tools you click on the region and label it directly. Excuse me. Kick. Oh, that needs to be kick in. So kick in. Okay, I'm going to go through all of these. So you need to do this as well. If you have, so this is kick sample. Sub kick. Snare top. Needs to be consistent. We have a snare sample here. Snare bottom. 31 V8, 32 V9. Okay, now we want to export Okay, highlight all. And now the quick command in Pro Tools is Shift Command K. So whatever that may be in your DAW, you want to export all these regions. And I recommend leaving it at the sample rate that you recorded at. Don't downsample or anything. Right now it's at 16:44:1 because that's how we recorded it, or that's how his original session was. So I left it as is. So now we're going to put this in a folder. You can put it wherever you want. I'm going to put it on the desktop. It's going to be Picture Consolidate. Open. Export. It's going to take a little bit, but then you'll have a nice, neat folder of all the multi-tracks that you want to send off to the mixer, that you can label the folder with the tempo, and make sure once this is done that everything is labeled correctly and in order, and you should be good to go. I'll show you how to compress and zip that file as well. All right, let's check the folder. Picture Consolidate. So it's nice and clean. Kick in, kick sample, sub kick, snare top, snare sample, snare bottom, hi-hat, tom 1, tom 2, mono trash, overhead left, overhead right, room left, room right, bass, guitar 1, guitar 2, guitar 3, guitar 4, guitar 5, guitar 6, pad, effects, Vox 1, Vox 2, Vox 3, Vox 4, Vox 5, Vox 6, Vox 7, Vox 8, Vox 9. Okay, this is a small session. I used a small one just to show you, so we didn't have to go through, usual sessions are like 80 plus to 100 and whatever tracks. But this will show you how to keep it simple. So now what I would do is go Picture Consolidate 125 BPM, so the mixer knows where to set his grid. If you have, for example, if you have a song with multiple tempo and meter changes, you'll want to export a MIDI map or export a MIDI track with all those changes and then provide that as well in the folder. So from here on, I would go highlight everything, and we will go ahead and compress 32 items. Great, it's compressed. It says archive. I would relabel this, whatever the song name, Picture Consolidate 125, the tempo. Boom. Then you take this file, and this is what you want to send via WeTransfer, Dropbox to your mixer, and you're good.